The power of communication is our ability to speak, to express our thoughts, our feelings, our hopes, our needs, and our politics. It is, in its most simplistic definition, how we connect with each other. However, for some people, it's not so simple. That's where speech and language therapy steps in. Not just as a treatment, but as a lifeline. As a way to help people find the words. It's about helping people find their voice and helping them overcome the barriers that keep them from being heard. If we can't communicate, we can feel invisible, we can feel alone, which in itself is a huge challenge. Speech and language therapy is absolutely vital to huge numbers of people. It's the bridge between silence and expression, isolation and inclusion. Whether it's a child who is struggling to form words, or an adult recovering from a stroke, or someone with a lifelong condition, speech and language therapists are the unsung heroes in helping people rediscover their ability to speak, to listen, and to engage with the world. The waiting list for speech and language therapy for adults was, in August of last year, just over 23,500 people, and over 67,000 children and young people. Every single one of those lives can be immeasurably improved by making sure that they have the treatment that they need, because that treatment allows them to rebuild the confidence that they may have lost. 25% of all children, when they go to primary school, have some form of diagnosed or undiagnosed speech, language and communications needs. But if we look at the most deprived areas across the country, that percentage rises to 50%. On top of that, we also have the fact that over 60% of children in young offenders institutions have communication difficulties. Now, that is too stark a reality, that is too stark a piece of information to be accident. But it's not always just about young people. There are a number of adults who've developed conditions such as Parkinson's, which is very close to my heart and I will touch on a little bit later, and actually long COVID. If I can touch briefly on Parkinson's, I have a very close family member. My mum suffers with Parkinson's, and going from a woman who spent almost her entire adult life communicating in her second language. Mum learnt English to go to school. They spoke Welsh at home for Mum. Mum was also fluent in French. And seeing her go where she's gone with her Parkinson's, to just not be able to find the words it's a real challenge for all of us who know my mum. I'm sure anybody who's got relatives in a similar position would also be very eager to help support with those. I can just return to the postcode lottery that I mentioned. For many people, especially those from disadvantaged communities, they live in areas where services are scarce and where waiting times are long. There is a shortage of therapists in our system, and many are leaving the profession due to burnout, insufficient support and unsustainable workloads. When I spoke to the Royal College, they were very clear that actually recruitment is one side of this coin, but retainment is absolutely a part of this as well. I am very proud that the government will be bringing forward a 10-year plan. I'm very eager to hear that the government is taking this very seriously to make sure that speech and language therapy is fully integrated into that 10-year plan. Ultimately, this debate, and I'm very glad to see so many honourable members and right honourable members from across the House here, it's an opportunity for us to talk about speech and language therapy, make sure that it's got the place that it deserves in the heart of our health system. But on that basis, I so move.